Hello, and welcome to Just Another Booktube channel, where I talk a bit about books I've recently read, covering a variety of genres. Thanks for stopping by. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about a comic omnibus that I just finished, called The Invisibles by Grant Morrison, published in 2000 and is 1,536 pages long. I've never really been a comic book guy. Even when I was a boy, I rarely read comics. In fact, the only comic books I indulged in were Command-I, Mad Magazine, Plop, and occasionally Cracked. I was never interested in superheroes. The entire premise of superheroes was, quite frankly, something I found ridiculous back then and still do today. And by the time I was in my mid-teens, comics had dropped off my radar altogether, and they have remained there until a friend recommended The Invisibles to me last year. He said I was sure to like it, and he was not wrong. The premise of Morrison's The Invisibles is fairly simple. Earth and humans are under psychic and physical assault by an organization of interdimensional evildoers. That being said, the story itself is a grand mishmash of conspiracy theories, philosophy, fringe science, esotericism, aliens, religion, magic, time travel, and a whole lot more. It's a fascinating and at times psychedelic ride. Over the course of the story, there are several arcs delving into each of the main characters' histories, which were enjoyable in themselves, and the collection on the whole was a chaotic mess of a page-turner. I kept wondering where Morrison was going, what philosophy, what system of belief, what esoteric line of thought he was going to stagger down next. Yes, some bits were considerably better than others, and occasionally the story gets bogged down with a bit too much in the way of philosophizing and exposition, but while tackling the sort of story and concepts that Grant Morrison does in this epic tale, there are bound to be some missteps. But even those missteps are an important part of the overall tale. Aside from the comic itself, also included in this omnibus edition are Morrison's original proposal for the series and also some letters which he published in several issues of what was going on with him and the comic. Of particular interest was when the comic sales were slumping and the future of it was uncertain, Morrison asked readers to participate in sigil magic to ensure the comic's continuance. Now, having been interested in many of the ideas presented in this book, and being old enough to have spent several decades exploring them, I was not mind blown by anything presented here, as many younger people who have reviewed this book claim to have been. But the way Morrison cobbled together the many and varied ideas into this monster of a tale was impressive, despite, as I said, some flaws. So there you have it, Grant Morrison's The Invisibles Omnibus, a complex, chaotic, multifaceted journey that I highly recommend to adventurous readers. That's all I have for today. Once again, this is Just Another Booktube channel. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.